Hey, hello everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am here with my friend Betsy from down in Tampa, Florida, right?
Yes.
And we have some kind of a juicy story to talk to you guys about today. I'm really excited to connect with Betsy and to tell all of you kind of what's going on with us. So welcome. First of all, welcome and thanks for spending some time with me this afternoon, Betsy.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to
That's
that one.
okay. I know it's a little weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to share my story because it's pretty awesome for me.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
awesome.
let me back up a little bit. So about less than a month ago, Betsy sent me a friend request in a private message, and we had actually met a year ago. April, was it? Like in
Yeah.
the spring last year at we were both at a weekend workshop learning how to do some online marketing kind of stuff. And there was maybe another 40 people there. So we met, connected a little bit. And then I don't know why we didn't become Facebook friends then, but anyhow, the miracle of social media, my page popped up on Betsy's feed as a "you might know this person."
Yeah.
So
Suggested.
what happened next? I was a suggested friend.
You were a suggested friend, and yeah, I looked and I thought, that's Dawn. We did that workshop together. I wonder what she's up to. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just went because I wanted to see if you were still doing the things that we were learning, in the
Yeah,
workshop. And so
yeah.
I went to your page, and the rest is
And
history.
and yeah, and the rest is history. So we're gonna catch you guys up on that in a minute. But it's so interesting that we had met that weekend and then we didn't stay connected. And some things definitely have changed for me. Some things had changed a little bit for you too, not necessarily for the better. And that's why when you saw my page, you saw a video that I had done about gut health and wellness. And
Yeah.
that's just really my passion right now. It's the company that I'm working with, it's the people that I'm helping. And so you saw a Facebook Live without knowing that I had actually changed companies or was doing this new thing. And so what happened then?
Well, I have been struggling big time. I
Yeah.
I have had hypothyroidism for years,
Mm-hmm.
and back in I guess the middle of April, I kind of started. Oh, and I also had totally fried my adrenals about 7 years ago as well. So like where I had no cortisol in my body and I was
Yeah.
exhausted and built my way back up, and I was doing a lot, doing really well. About
And that's an
mid-April.
effect for people who don't know. That's an effect of overwhelming stress, right? Burning out your
Oh yeah,
adrenals and high
absolutely.
cortisol is like levels of stress that we never hope to achieve, right?
I had so much cortisol at one point that literally when I had it tested, there was no place for it on the chart. It was that high. And
Wow.
then within a couple
Broke the
months,
record.
it was down where I had nothing. I was so exhausted I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't move. I
Yeah.
was I was so drained. But through supplements and building myself back and taking care of myself and learning how to sleep, I got to a much better point. Um, but about mid-April of this year, I started feeling tired and sluggish again.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yep.
working out a lot. I was doing intermittent fasting. I thought I was doing all these, things that were
Yep.
good for me. Come to find out, intermittent fasting is one of the worst things that you can do for your adrenals.
Right.
If you've ever had them compromised, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I had also been on a ketogenic diet before, which is not good for your thyroid. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, needless to say, I was thinking that I was doing all these great things for my body, and I really wasn't. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started slowing down about mid-April, not working out as hard as I was. And mid-May, I had a panic attack in the middle of the night, and I didn't know what it was.
Oh yeah. So I remember you telling me about this.
It woke me up.
So scary. Yeah.
I had never experienced panic. I'd never had anxiety, nothing like that ever, and it really, really scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went away. I didn't have any more for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden I had back-to-back nights.
Mm-hmm.
One was really intense. The next night was worse. I told my husband, I think I'm dying. I think I'm having a heart attack. I
Mm-hmm.
need to go to the hospital. And so I did. I ended up
Yeah.
in the hospital, in the ER, thinking that I was having a heart attack.
And was this panic something kind of out of the blue? Can you correlate it to any additional stress at work or at home or in your anywhere in your life that kind of triggered all of a sudden? Why now are you having panic attacks?
I mean, yeah, I'd had some stress in my business, but we had lost a customer, but we were in the process of purchasing another business that was going to, kind of take care of all that. And I had been there before because we had a downtime in our business before. And that was actually when I fried my adrenals before. So I had been there before, and I understood, how to manage my stress, how to take care of myself. At least, I thought I was doing that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But what I didn't realize was the way that I was taking care of my body, and the stress that I was bringing on because of the intermittent fasting and the working out and doing the intermittent fasting, while I was working out, it was really, really totally placing all of this pressure on my adrenals. And so the stress from the business and the stress that I was placing on my body just kind of, caused this. And also my hypothyroidism turned into Hashimoto's like almost overnight. And I had never experienced any of the symptoms of Hashimoto's with the anxiety and the panic attacks and the things that Hashimoto's will cause. Didn't even know that could exist.
Yeah. So how did that affect you day to day?
Well, it was horrible. After I got out of the hospital, I went an entire month without sleeping because I had these adrenaline surges in the middle of the night. Every time I would go to sleep, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I felt like my heart was just going to beat out of my chest. At that point, I knew what it was, so it wasn't as scary, so the panic didn't set in, but it still took about an hour before the whole process was over. So I never really got back to sleep. So I'd sleep an hour here, an hour there. But I wouldn't take naps during the day because then I was afraid that I wouldn't sleep at night. So I was basically a walking zombie for about a month straight.
Yeah. So that's stressful in and of itself, like not sleeping, not having dreams, not getting into that deep REM sleep, relaxing your body, letting your body recover from the day. Like imagine people a month of that, like the accumulative effect on that. So there was a lot going on in your body. You had the brain fog, the low energy, lack of sleep, all of that. So you saw my Facebook Live about gut health. And when you connected with me, you had already been thinking about this gut-brain connection. And I think you had already seen or read some things about it. So what did you already know about what role the gut might be playing in all of this?
Well, when I had the adrenal problems before, it was my gut was really, really bad. And so I went through the whole process of, healing and bone broth and, all kinds of stuff trying to heal my gut, which I did back then, and I got it better. But, I noticed as I was getting tired in the middle of the day, I was making bad food choices, eating more sugar, caffeine. I had started, drinking more caffeine and doing stuff that is really not good at all when you have adrenal issues because it stresses your adrenals out even more. But I knew about the gut health. I had read it in a book that I was reading about Hashimoto's, about how, you needed to get your gut and how that was all correlated to it. And so I was kind of in the process of trying to figure out, okay, well, that's cool. Now what do I do?
What do you do about it? Right. So
exactly.
This is fairly new science. I would say, in the last 3 to 5 years, we've really kind of nailed down what this whole microbiome is all about. Good bacteria, bad bacteria, regulating hormones, regulating sugars, other systems in our body, creating dopamine and serotonin that help us feel good, decreasing cortisol levels, all of that. So there's all this science behind it that's really new. And so when we talked, you were talking about 7 years ago, but this really wasn't even a thing 7 years ago. Like people didn't talk about, well, let's look at your gut, right? When's the last time your doctor said, well, let's take a look at your gut. You're not sleeping. You feel brain fog, you having panic attacks. People don't make that connection. We're starting to make it more, which is so exciting. And I'm so, excited about what we're going to talk about next, which is, so you said, I saw your video about the gut, and I was so sad, but also like really happy that we connected because you had this like couple of paragraphs in Facebook Messenger about how bad you were feeling. And I was like, thank God she found my friend, or she saw me as a recommended friend, because I do have her solution. And so, first of all, I think if people are listening, they have heard you say you've tried all these holistic things. So you are already open to a holistic kind of alternative approach to healing yourself. And that's,
I don't do prescription meds at all.
Yeah. So that's really step one. If you're like looking for an alternative holistic approach, this is something that we have. And so, Betsy, I recommended a couple of things from this new company that I'm aligned with. And so tell us, like the 24 hours before you made the decision to go ahead and place the order and become a customer, and then what helped you make that decision, and then what have you found?
I was at the point where I was just so exhausted. You know, I had tried so many things. I tried a lot of Band-Aids, things that would help
Yeah.
kind of a little bit or whatever, but nothing that I ever felt like I really had energy
Hmm.
or my brain could like really function. And
Hmm.
I was so tired. There were so many things that I wanted to do. Um, you know, always wanted to do something great with my life, and yet I had all this apathy because I got to the point where I just like I didn't care anymore. I
Yeah.
was too tired to care, and I just said, you know what, I got to give this a shot because I know Dawn. I know that she was with another company, and I know that she wouldn't leave and go do something that wasn't going to be something that was great,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm going to give it a shot. So
Yeah.
that's what happened.
So thank you for saying that. I think, yeah, I mean, integrity is one of our core values, and and I appreciate that because it does when you're kind of taking a leap of faith and trying something that not a lot of people have heard about. You do want to know that you're going to partner with somebody who has integrity and will just have your best interest in mind, right?
Absolutely.
And you're such a person of faith, and you want so bad to heal and help others to heal. And I think that's what I have come to love about you in the last 3 weeks is that no matter what, like you're showing up and doing the work, no matter what. You're not really expecting anybody to do it for you. And so you made the decision to order one of our core packs, which targets the gut brain axis. And let's tell people what did you find? You took, your first serving one morning, and I know you actually had the flu or something. You weren't even feeling
Yeah,
great. You weren't
I
even feeling
wasn't
great when you
feeling good
started.
because I couldn't do that reboot because I was taking, like I said, I do the whole holistic thing. So I take like the holistic cold medicine, the
Yeah.
honey cough medicine,
Mhm.
so I was taking supplement or things for the cold that I knew that I couldn't do on the reboot. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to reboot, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with the fundamentals anyway. And so I
Mhm.
wasn't feeling well
Right.
as it was, plus the fact that I hadn't slept in a month. It was literally a month from the
Yeah.
time that I was in the hospital to the time that I first started this product. And so, I was like, hey, we'll just see what happens. And so the first time that I took the fundamentals, I took them, all together, like
Mhm.
they suggest. And I took them, and then I went to sit in my chair, my recliner in my room, because that's where I have my quiet time, where I just kind of veg and meditate for a little bit. And I mean, like, it was 10 minutes. It was no more than 10 minutes. And I felt this fog lift off my head. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And
Awesome.
even though I was tired and even though I didn't feel good, for the first time in my life, I could think, not my life, for the first time in probably 10 years, because
Yeah.
that's how long I've been struggling with the hypothyroidism. I could
Yeah.
actually think. I could pray and think and read, and there was like clarity for the first
Mhm.
time.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
wow.
Mhm.
And even though I still wasn't sleeping great, I just felt with every day that went by that I started feeling better, and within a week I started sleeping better.
Yeah. So that's amazing. That's life-changing right there.
Oh yeah.
But just to remind people, so you're also a business owner. You and your husband own a business, and we're in the
Do
process.
now.
Yeah, you're in the process of buying another one. And you were saying there's lots of details that fall on you as sort of the office manager person to take care of. And so, how are you now better able with the new mental edge that you have by cleaning up your gut and connecting the gut brain axis a little better? How is making those decisions, those business decisions and getting work done, how is it now compared to like 6 weeks ago?
Well, when your adrenals are compromised and your cortisol is low, cortisol helps you manage stress. So when your adrenals are or adrenals are compromised, stress is like things get to you so much easier. Like
Mm-hmm.
something that would stress you or stress me, you probably wouldn't be bothered with it at all because it's just so
Yeah.
quick for me to jump off. And so I would
Yeah.
find myself like wanting to snap at people. I wouldn't because I, would try to not, but I had a short fuse. You know, I
Mhm.
felt like I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate.
Mhm.
I was trying to multitask and do all these things because I couldn't keep my head in one place long enough to finish a
Yeah.
task, and just kept, moving from thing to thing because I couldn't stay focused on anything.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that edgy irritability kind of, and you don't want to be short with other people. So
Yep.
what I've been there myself, and what I end up doing is kind of isolating a little bit. Did you
Hmm.
find yourself sort of withdrawing or keeping away from people because you just had this edginess to you?
I've actually done that for years, because
Yeah.
I found that people exhausted me.
Oh,
So, I did. I found myself pulling back from doing things with friends, from going
mhm.
places, because I always felt like, oh, I got to go home at 9 o'clock and go to bed.
Right.
I had all these rules for sleep, 25 different things that I had to do before I went to bed so I could get to sleep, and
Right.
all these things, and it just, life wasn't fun for me because
Yeah.
I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't have time for friends. I didn't laugh.
Right.
I wasn't living.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I wasn't living.
Yeah. And you have like so much joy and life inside you that it's really time to really express and fulfill that, I think. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, like I said before, the apathy was one of the things that was the hardest for me, and
Yeah.
like, it kind of makes me want to cry right now because
Yeah.
I have this huge desire to. There's just this dream that God placed in my heart that I want to do, and I've just been too tired to do it, And I
Yeah.
know that there are so many people that are out there like me right now that they know they have a purpose. They know that God has placed something on their heart that they need to do, and they're exhausted, and they can't even think of how they could possibly do it
Yeah.
because they're just too tired to care, and they just kind of give up on it, and they take that dream and they just kind of stuff it up in the attic and kind of leave it sitting there because they don't think they'll ever be able to do it because they're just too tired
Yeah.
to feel good.
What you just said right there is so relatable to so many of us, and I think particularly women between sort of like 45 and 55, sort of that age group where it's like we know there's like critical time left in our life, and if we're going to make
Yes.
something of it, and if we're going to really live our purpose and have a mission and vision that is in service to others, then the time is now, right? We can't. It's not something we can put away until tomorrow, right? So
Absolutely.
let's wrap it up with that, Betsy, because I know you. So you've turned from customer to partner with me. So you've joined our mission. I know you have it. It's this huge heart to help other people find their solution. So where are you at now, and how can we help get this education out there that a solution could exist for you?
Well, I just believe, I'm that person that's has been talking people into winning and encouraging them to get out there and live their purpose for years. And I felt like I was silently suffering behind the scenes while I was trying to talk people in. I was talking myself into it as well. And I think that this is for me, I've used a lot of products. I've seen a lot of companies. There's a lot of great stuff out there. But for me, this isn't about a product anymore. This is about a mission. This is about um, purpose and mission and just wanting to change lives, because I feel like I'm now not just on a mission to help people to fulfill their purpose, but I'm on a mission to help people to get healthy, to feel better so they can fulfill their purpose, because so many people will go to the grave with regret,
Yep.
never ever doing what God has put them to do because they're too tired and they just give up.
Right. Yeah. Graveyards everywhere are full of
Oh
potential,
yeah.
right? Yeah. People just, take it to their grave instead of really living it out fully now. And you said it perfectly. I love that you pointed out that people really need to be well, feel well to fulfill their purpose. And nobody should feel guilty for not living to their full potential if they're not feeling good. We
Right.
shouldn't then add to that stress that you're not doing enough, you're not being enough. People feel like crap. Stress is at an all-time high. It's a complete epidemic in the world.
And then
And,
everybody's just using caffeine because they're tired, and all they're
yep,
doing is putting a band-aid on their body. What they don't
yeah,
realize, that caffeine coupled with the stress is breaking down their
yeah,
body and making them
yeah,
sicker and sicker and sicker instead of utilizing things that can actually make them well.
yeah. So if you relate to Betsy's story and you feel that you have just this barrier between you and your mission, you and your purpose, then, and if you think that Betsy or myself can help you find a solution, I think that you and I are on the same page where we believe that what we have is something that everyone could benefit from, right? It's really the building blocks. It's the bricks to your foundation. And when you have a good foundation in your gut and in your brain, the world is your oyster. Really, you can accomplish anything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited to see, Betsy, what you're going to accomplish in the next 3, 6, 9 months on your journey here. Any closing statements or closing words here to help inspire us? You out every single day. If you're not already friends with Betsy online, you must be, because she has stories every single morning to inspire us. So
Oh, thank you.
Anything you want to leave us with today?
Just, if you feel that something is tugging at your heart to do something more with your life, but you're not feeling well, then get in touch with us, because we've got something that can really help you. I didn't think that there was anything that could really ever help me, and this has changed my life. And now I want to help others to change their lives as well, because I want people to feel like I feel.
Yeah, and you will. You're about to touch many, many lives, Betsy. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. I really appreciate it. Thanks all of you who joined us. And if you're watching later, go ahead and let us know that you watched us on the replay. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll come back later and answer those for you. Thanks again, Betsy, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.